The Alicia report is in. I listened to this, so you didn't have to. I mean, you can if you want to. Okay, so I don't even know where to start with this because, child, it was a lot going on. Okay, hopefully you know them, Jacquees, Davinci, and I think his name is Kordell, Beckham's son, child. That's all I know. And we need to keep him so pure and away from people who do not value what he got going on. Okay, period. So a couple things I want to talk about that I seen on this episode is that they kept talking about like love, dating, kids, legacy, and all this and that stuff or whatever. And baby, we need to know the difference, or they need to know the difference between legacy and lineage. A name is lineage. What you do and how people remember you on this earth is your legacy. And so Jacquees cleared it up saying that it was his name, like he wanted his son to have his name as in Junior. Baby DeAndre said, no, ma'am. So it wasn't the last name. He cleared that up. But also, the host was asking him about like how does it feel to be a dad, and how does it feel to be like in love and engaged, stuff like that. And Jacquees was just saying like certain things about Deandra, like how he felt about her and different things like that. And they were just like, oh, how's it being a kid? And they were talking about postpartum or whatever. He gonna be like, how long does that last? Boy, what? That is so disrespectful. And he's like, I try to be there for her. But I'm like, well, but what are you trying to do? He's like, I just try to be there for her. And what she needs and stuff like that. But he was basically saying like she does her own thing. She's good. She's secure and different things like that. And, he got his album coming out. And he did say the things that he wanted to teach his son. I thought that was really good. Like he was like to be respectful, to love his mom, to love his grandma and stuff like that, to love women. And I just think it's so interesting. And I'm not saying that anything about Jacquees because I don't know about him, but it's like men are always like, I'm going to teach them how to love. I'm going to teach them how to do this, whatever. But it's like, but are you doing the same thing? Are you going to show him how to love by showing, his mom love? Like, are you going to show him how to treat a woman by that? Or are you just going to teach him? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I thought about while I was watching it. And they talked about his album. They talked about him being like the king of R&B. He said he is the king child. He said nobody could tell him nothing. He about to come out with a documentary, period. Okay, hype yourself up, child. So that was that. There was a couple other things about the Jacquees thing. So yeah, we're gonna get on to Kordell. He was in Love Island, and so him and his girl just started dating. But they had the nerve to be like, oh yeah, do you want a baby? Like, this dude is 22. We need to talk about why men are so obsessed with having kids, but not obsessed with marrying, but not obsessed with taking care of their kids. Oh, they gonna want to have a seed out here, but child, they ain't gonna want to know where it's at. And this dude just met this, well, they didn't just meet, but they just started dating like 6 months, and they're like, oh, you gotta do it big for Valentine's Day. Then Jacquees gonna be like, but you ain't gotta spend that much money. So do you want him to do it big or not spend that much money? Then you're gonna be like, oh, play my baby making album. Boy, you trying to promote that album, child. Don't nobody want no babies right now. Like, the girl, he was like, his girl wanted to be like 30. So that's like 8 years for him, honestly. And it's like, why are we pushing this narrative? Like, have kids, have kids, have kids. Like, it's okay. Davinci was like, he didn't get Glorilla pregnant. He's like, he not telling y'all his personal business. He was talking about protecting that. He was like, because social media is crazy and different things like that. And he was making actually some good points. I was like, okay, he's Haitian. Like, I do remember him playing in Grownish. He was making some good points about like how people can just like spew different things or see you. And he's talking about stalkers and everything like that, and being how he was raised with his brothers. He's the youngest, and how he didn't really have like that family unit. And I was agreeing with him on some things, but some of the stuff he was talking about, the last name is law. Well, child, the last name ain't law if the parents is not married, okay? And women should have the option to either name their kids their last name or not. And if men want to stand so 10 toes down about having their last name, how about y'all marry them and commit to them, and then they can have your children. Then you probably will get the last name. And I like Kordell because he was like, yeah, we can build a legacy together. Her name, his name, like, I'm proud. Now, one thing I will say is that when Kordell was talking about his woman, he was like, yeah, I'm proud of her. She does this, she does that, da, da, da. Now, when Jacquees was talking about DeAndre, he wasn't really saying those words like, I'm proud she does this. He's like, oh yeah, she cool, she nice. I'm like, I'm just trying to see like, or hear. I'm not even trying to see it, but I'm just like, there's just a difference in the conversations and what it is. And it's just like, why is it so hard for, men not to be so insecure and just like love a woman and have, one, not even really wanting to like post them or whatever, but just like love what they do, just have interest in them, instead of it's like, oh, I need to see you as a mama before I need to see your labor before I'm gonna marry you. Like, he said that he fell in love with her more when she was a mom. Like, what? So you have to labor to get more love? Like, you should just love someone because they're pure, they're honest, they're kind. He did say like she told the truth and stuff like that, and he, like, how she's just honest and stuff like that. But it's just like, why as Black women do we have to show that we can cook, we can clean, we can have babies, we can do all this stuff for you, to just try to be like, oh, pick me, I could be your wife now? Like, no. How about y'all show us something? Show us y'all can provide. Show us that y'all have our best interests. Show us that y'all not jealous. Show us that y'all not insecure. Like, there has to be an even playing field. And it's just like, it's just so confusing. Davinci did talk about 50 Cent and what he's doing for the community and making billionaires and stuff like that. I did like that. They was like, he's the Tyler Perry of New York or something like that. So, I mean, it was interesting. It was okay. I just was like seeing different things that was said, and I was like, I don't know about that. Davinci talked about the two-parent household, and I did come from a two-parent household, so I kind of agree with the resources and different things like that. But kind of the like man out the house does, affect it. But it's just like, we have to be okay and understand what we're supposed to do and what we're on this earth to do in general. Hopefully is to, have a union, have a family, and you can multiply and stuff like that. But it's just like, it's bigger things, and it's like, there's things out here that you should be doing, and you should be protecting your family. You should want that unit to, try to go and live this great life that you want to live. But it's like, sometimes that's not always the case, right? But it's kind of like, but who is going to make that the case? Who is going to set that standard? What foundation do you have? I don't know about people saying that it's not broken homes if you live with a single parent or whatever. But Davinci made a good point on like the manipulation of the kids and stuff like that. Like, oh, I do this at my dad's house, I do this at my mom's house. And I could see that, I didn't have that experience because I live with both of my parents, but it's just like, there are different things and different reasons of why people say two-parent households are good. Not that you can't come from one and not be a good person. That's not what we're saying. But it's like, there is some like foundational things, some resources when you able to see that love, when you're able to grow up in love and not struggle love, and then you think that's everybody struggling and everybody has to go get it out the mud and stuff like that. Like, that's not what we want. We want ease in life and different things. So that is my recap of the podcast episode. Let me know if you listened to it or not. If you're going to go listen to it, let me know your thoughts below. Would love to hear them.